Yeah, this is Point Black, coming hard and off the card, coming with the flow straight from the barrier and coming with the heat from the street. This is PBNN, Point Black National News, the latest great edition with the facts, the backs, and the heat from the motherfucker street. With the flow from the barrio as we go. Because this is what we must do. Now today, we see Kathy Hochul making a gesture for the first time in her life, but not one of the first time in her life, because she always makes these little gestures to keep us on their side. You know what I'm saying? Governor Hochul announced more than 200, more than 200 municipalities have launched an application to become pro-house community. Now, Governor Hochul claimed, right, today, announcing that 213 New York municipalities have launched a application to certify the pro-house community, including 61 local government that have already been certified, you know what I'm saying, under the pro-housing community program. Now listen to this, you know what I'm saying, program launched by Governor Nutcase to me, Kathy Hochul last year as part of the package to the Executive Act of increasing the housing supply, recognized municipality for their commitment to the housing growth. As part of the FY 2025 enact budget, the governor secures an agreement making the pro-housing community certification a requirement for up to $650 million in state, discretionary, or whatever the word is, funding. Yeah, you're full of shit, if you ask me. Across our state, listen to this, across our state, right? Leaders are joining our pro-housing community program to take a stance against New York housing crisis and commit to building of homes New Yorkers deserve. That's a fucking lie, because if that's the case, many of the American people wouldn't be sleeping in their cars. You know what I'm saying? While people who came over the border get $450,000 where they could buy a brand new house. So you're going to build houses for whom? Because many of the poor people is not going to see that. Many of the poor New Yorkers and many of the people who don't have the money to afford these things, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, and those who really need it is probably not going to reach them. So she's talking a bunch of bullshit, because New York is filled with a great vast of a lot of people, not just Kathy Hochul and her crew. You know what I'm saying? She always talking this good old bullshit, you know what I'm saying, especially around election time, so she can get the little nuts off and say that she's doing something for the American people. No, she's not. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good on paper, but it doesn't mean shit unless the community and the people really feel the effects of that, and many people are slipping and sliding through the cracks. So while she's talking this goody two-shoe shit to make you think that if even Democrats really care about you, you know what I'm saying, we're going to see how many real poor people or people who are struggling out here every day to get housing is really going to see any of that. It just sounds good. Like I said, sweet lies. Sweet truths of lies. So it's the same thing. Now, I mean, she's just doing that to get the points that she needs, in more ways to say that, you know what I'm saying, she's actually doing something while she's sitting up there fucking New York over, as usual. Especially talking about the mandates and different shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell by, in many ways, the same ideology is even stretched across to China and many other places as well. Look at the way they treat their people, if you really think about it. And I've been watching a lot of their shit for years as to what they have done to many of the people in that country. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that just fell overnight. These people are all in bed together and in cahoots together in order to cultivate and control the world and keep the people on fair stress button at all times, such as killer robots, as we see. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm going to say it again. Who the fuck let somebody come in the country and create some bullshit like that? You know what I'm saying? You've got to be completely out your mind. But we see here where Donald Trump polling leads over Joe Biden. Creepy ass is coming in. You know what I'm saying? Kate Plummer on 5/27/24 at 12:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we see here where Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, slim lead over Creep Joe fucking butternut fucking pedophilia Brokeback Bitch Biden in the polls ahead of the presidential election, you know what I'm saying, marginally increasing, analysts of polling data has shown. In March, the president of the United States leader, and in March, the president leader, you know what I'm saying, and incumbent president, you know what I'm saying, won enough primary race to secure respectively the Republicans and Demon Democratic nominations in 2024 presidential election. Polls have so far shown that the results will be tight. It shouldn't be tight. Again, we should not be voting for anyone because we know we have a lot of snitches in the game. So that's facts. You know what I'm saying? We know we have a lot of con artists in the game. That's facts. We know we have a bloodthirsty killing motherfucking machine. Is a fact. And we also know that we have affiliation in other nations to corrupt our nations as well that were let in by many of these people, you know what I'm saying, you call elected officials. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at the slim margin, it just goes to show that you're still not playing chess the rightful way. You're still not looking at it the rightful way. Not everyone, but a majority. You know what I'm saying? Is idiots, because when we look at the respectively Republicans and Demon Democrat nominations in the 2024 presidential election, polls have so far shown that the results, you know what I'm saying, will be tied as the pair are statistically tied in most survey or enjoy only a marginal lead. That's bullshit. Trump is leading by a great margin. Trust me, he is. Many people are beginning to wake up to the fact that you have to make some kind of change, and if you don't feel that the change that you are making to whoever you're saying you need to be in the seat at this time, you know what I'm saying, you need to bring forth your own and make sure that he is not on the take, he's not crooked, and he ain't sucking balls, just like Creep Joe Biden sucking every crooked ball this side of America and bringing them up into our country to attack the common citizens. See, they like to do that. The common citizens who don't know a fucking thing, don't have nothing to do with the bullshit, you know what I'm saying, is the ones that always pay the price for these wicked beasts and the bullshit that they do. So we have to start to pay more closer attention to this, you know what I'm saying? But we see, however, in more ways than one, however, you know what I'm saying, signs Trump may be gaining ground. He should have been gaining ground a long time ago, because the discreditations that you put on him based on the fact that you say he did this and did that, none of the bullshit that you put before us was even worth anything. So the martyr or whatever he is a good thing. But at the same time, it wasn't surprising that you did what you did in order to discredit him in all ways, you know what I'm saying, to make him look like the worst person on the planet. Didn't I say that in the very first time that I was saying many of these lies that I do? I was saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to do that, because anybody that's going to do good for the world, or any kind of good for the world, will be demonized by these beasts, because they always want to stay in control, and they always want to be on the fascist bullshit that they are. You know what I'm saying? So get out of my face. Now, we see Letitia James is hit with a lawsuit, which she seems to be getting hit with on all same corners because she's an idiot. And I don't know what kind of leadership she represents, just like Alexandria Northcase, ball-sucking Cortez. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what kind of leadership, Ayanna Omar, you know what I'm saying? You see how much people was not paying attention to all these creeps got up into our government and should not be there, from the Arabs to the Muslim, to all kinds of different groups that he allowed in, and majority of them are not speaking on the behalf of the American people. This is why we in the corruption that we are today. This is why you got caught up in these mandates and all this shit, and made people lose work and all kinds of dumb shit, so they could suck up a vaccine in their behind. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, we know that a lot of the corruption is due to many of our officials and who they allowed to be elected and know they were crooks and know who they're working for, but you still elect them without background, full check. Now, there's many people that did full background check on many of these elected officials. You know what I'm saying? They can't hide, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's bullshit in itself. While everyone sits around and talk. This is coming in by Matthew and Billy on, I guess it's coming in on 5/27/24 at 4:09 p.m. We see New York attorney, so-called, she's not New York attorney, she's a New York idiot attorney probably, in general, Letitia Nutcase James, was hit with another lawsuit this week by the anti-abortion group relating to the abortion pill reversal protocol. So we see, you know what I'm saying, last week the National Institute of Family and Life Advocates, you know what I'm saying, it looked like GLAAD, you know, House Incorporated, you know what I'm saying, and Chose Life of Jamestown Incorporated filed a lawsuit against Letitia Nutcase James, alleging that she, using the state's power to regulate business frauds and stop non-for-profit pregnancy centers and a network of affiliated centers from providing providing, I guess, you know what I'm saying, the information regarding abortion pill reversal. You know what I'm saying? The ARP procedures involve a woman who has changed their mind about aborting her pregnancy after taking the mifepristone or something like that, a drug that used to end pregnancy. ARP involves taking the whatever they call it, progesterone to offset the effect of whatever that bullshit is. And if women are crazy, you should really start to think about, you know, this, because what they want to do is kill the baby inside the womb. You know what I'm saying? But the baby has a right, because if you did not feel that, you know what I'm saying, you did not want to get pregnant, you wasn't raped, or none of these things that you're claiming, or so forth, and you're out having sex and just blatantly not paying attention to the groove and how to move, you know what I'm saying, and you get pregnant, and then all of a sudden now you figure you just go over to the little shop over there, buy some pills, and kill the child in your stomach. You're going to pay for that somewhere along the line. So pay attention, because Roe versus Wade being removed was not removed on the premise of the fact that they were interested in your health. It was all based on a political game. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it was overturned was in order to use it against the Republicans, also to make the Republicans look bad, because they know that the Republicans were not for abortion. So this bill must have been tied up in a filibuster for years and was pulled out by the Democrats, you know what I'm saying, the Supreme Court and many other crooked who was in the game to try to play the field on this matter. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing they always do around this time is find every way to make the Republicans look like shit. But it's the other way around. Who was doing that is the shitters. But at the same time, Trump since Memorial Day lashing out at human scums, Eugene Carroll. You know what I'm saying? And I think she is an idiot as well. And I don't want to say nothing about the idiot in itself. But I don't have time for that bull. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even saying that stimulus checks come in, we see, you know what I'm saying, the death of Juliet or whatever pill in Alabama that sparks accusations. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we see Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to invest in democratic, democratic stronghold. Yeah, she could go ahead with her moves. She ain't got time for the jokes. You know what I mean? You see, Alina Haba say Trump hush money jury should have been, you know what I'm saying, I guess from what she's saying on some bullshit. So let's look into what she's saying in this matter. But at the same time, we have to look at this world in which we live in, especially when it comes to the Gaza Strip and many things right here in America that needs to be looked at more carefully. You know what I'm saying? Local elections are, like I said, one of the main things that we have to look at. And we have to also look at our community as the people wandering around our community as if they can just take our freedom as a joke. Our freedom is not a joke. It's something that we all enjoy and it's something that we all have. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between what we are seeing in 2020 to now based on many things when it comes to even the election, when it comes to even, mandates and stuff. Just because they put chains around your motherfucking feet don't mean that they can't pass laws that do the same thing. And then when you don't abide, they're going to send the law. And then because you gave them that power to be able to do that shit to you. You know what I'm saying? But Alina Haba said Trump hush money jury should have been more sequenters or whatever over holiday weekend. Who gives a fucking fuck? You know what I'm saying? We see law enforcement source reveal that Trump rally in a heavily demon Democratic area. Let's see what's going on. This better. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to find every way to discredit everything that is good. So we have to make sure that we find ways to make it right in all ways. It ain't just about that. It's about local and also up at the top. Anybody that's in that measure must be removed. Yes, so we see law enforcement source revealed that Trump rally in a heavily demon Democratic South Bronx attached a crowd of over 8,000 to 10,000 people, which is good. You know what I'm saying? Which is good. According to the law enforcement sources, approximately 8,000 to 10,000 individuals attended the Bronx rally of the President of the United States, which is good. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that? Thousands of Trump supporters, eagerly lined up for hours outside the security gates at Cartona Park, eagerly anticipating a glimpse of the 45th president and the president today. This Thursday night, the rally marks the first appearance and so on, which is good. Glad to hear how many people was out there to support something that needs a big change. You know what I'm saying? So we can see many of these things going on that is definitely needed to change. Even when we look at, Hillary Clinton said demon Democrats, underestimated. No, they underestimate a fucking thing. Demon Democrats have been fucking about government for how long now? Along with crooked, bipartisan and this and all that different shit that you've been playing the game and have these people, going through many, many different changes. Even when we see NATO boss takes apparent swipe at Joe Biden argue to end Reconstruction on U.S. so-called soil. You know what I mean? You catch it on point in the news, as we need to do, because it's important that we understand that there is no place like home, and we want the whole world to have a place like home. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and you, even in the Gaza Strip, you tell the people to go to a place, like the guy was saying, you tell the people to go to a place and leave Gaza, and then when they leave to go to a safe place, you bomb the safe place. So we know you're full of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's no more than a genocidical move. And it seems like every time the Zionists or anybody, you know what I'm saying, or you speak up against anything to do with this Zionist group of people, it seems like the whole wide world don't. I mean, it seems like all the elected officials and many officials, you know, slow gas their feet as many people are being murdered and killed and babies are being decapitated. Now I'm saying, what's the difference in that here in the abortion and the difference there in reality? You know what I'm saying? One is done sophisticatedly. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at how they did the pandemic and what they pumped into the people, you know what I'm saying? You begin to see the same patterns in itself. When you look at Netanyahu, he's blatantly doing it and know that he's a Zionist, crooked head, Barrymore looking, wide head, fucking monkey looking, base head looking ass. You know what I'm saying? And he's out there doing this shit in the Gaza Strip. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to remove all the Palestinian people and call yourself removing them from there. But instead of making it more safer, you have just caused a hell of a war that can come even in that region because they love blood and guts. Remember me saying that? They love blood and guts. You know what I'm saying? But we see NATO boss takes a parent swipe at Joe Biden, argue to end restrictions on U.S. weapons for Russia. You know what I'm saying? And to end restrictions on U.S. weapons for Russian targets. You know what I'm saying? Listen to NATO. Listen to NATO. And their bullshit. Listen to it. You know, they're so full of shit. It's, you know, it's completely ridiculous as to what we have to go through with these people. You know what I'm saying? We see the NATO Secretary General Jen, look like Stoltenberg, sound like a German. You know what I'm saying? Argue that Ukraine should be able to use American weapons. No, they should not. She's fucking full of shit. And they should not be using American weapons. And Stoltenberg, you need to take your ass back to Germany where you came from with that piece of shit. There should be a ceasefire, motherfucker, and you know it. Don't come with that bold Stoltenberg bullshit German shit. You know what I'm saying? And argue that Ukraine should be using American weapons. Using American weapons for what? To cause a nuclear war on the United States? Who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? You need to go back to where the fuck you came from and stay the fuck out of Africa as well. You know what I'm saying? Talking about they should be using America. Stoltenberg is full of shit. Don't follow people like that. And Joe Biden probably such an idiot. He'll go down the road because he's an idiot. You know what I'm saying? They put him there to do exactly what you see is going on today. You know what I'm saying? And many people act as if like, you know, this man have any sense. What sense? And where's the tranquility of the sense that he has? You know what I'm saying? It's under the guise of, you know, truth of sweet lies. You know what I'm saying? But we see many of this going on in our country that needs to be checked, and even across the world. When you look across the world and you look at many countries, you see this death-defying act that continues to go down the road. Why should it be that way? And even when many of the leadership that's in the country are doing the same exact thing to the people that they're doing over here with their fascism and communism in more ways. You know what I'm saying? Where they claim communism in one way, they claim dictatorship over the people to where they could just do anything to them, label them to what they want to label them because they elected them and put them in power, or somehow they got in power and can't be removed. They need to be removed. They need to vote them the fuck out, or however they can get these so-called crooked ass leaders that's been in there a long time. Many of them have been in there for years. And in many countries, it has not gotten any better. They love blood and guts and war. This is something that we have to seriously take a look at across the planet. Trump receives a chilly reception, you know what I'm saying, at the Libertarian Convention. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We see billionaire GOP donor, Stephen, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying, backs Trump in vote. I think his name is, what is it? Swashman or something, but his name is Stefan, and he's supposed to be a GOP billionaire. Last name starts with an S. I'm not here to pronounce your fucking name or get caught up that long with it. You know, backs Trump's on vote, so that's good to hear. We see Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, just put Judge Eileen Cannon on the spot. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, you know that's going to happen. You know what I mean? And what spot is he on? Put on the spot for what? Because what you did to Donald Trump or any candidate such as his magnitude, you know what I'm saying, is ridiculous to see what you have done in all ways. So nobody's falling for that one in many ways. And we don't have time to spend talking about bullshit in itself. We see mega supporter camp outside courthouse, witness Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? We see Tel Aviv comes under fire as Hamas rocket pierce, you know, the so-called fake-ass invaders, Iron Dome. You know what I'm saying? And Netanyahu should, you know, they shouldn't be there. A lot of this, we must find some way to get those people out of Africa and out of the Gaza Strip altogether. They cannot still be in that spot because it's bullshit. We see Ron Johnson claims failed border bill was politically ployed for Schumer. You know what I'm saying? We know many of it was ployed for Schumer because many of it was done by them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It was done by them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It was all a setup in the game that they played. So nobody really, you know, cares too much about anything to do with them. Because it was put there for them to do what they do, you know what I'm saying, in all ways. You know what I mean? And we know the ploy of the plot. And they're gonna flip and flop while our country's being invaded from the border entry on both sides. Probably even coming true up there with Trudeau, who think he's so slick with his corn, all his deep state ass. Trudeau don't escape the bite either. We see, you know what I'm saying, and we see it, it's called like Phillips or Philippe or whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying, and this came in one day ago, up the hill. We see Ron Johnson, you know what I'm saying, the Republican of Wisconsin, claimed the failed U.S.-Mexican border bill, which was down again in the Senate this week, was a politically ploy for Senate Majority Leader Chuck the Dog fucking jackass Schumer, demon Democrat, or Burry shouldn't even be in New York, in a comment. This is Sunday. Johnson slammed creepy ass motherfucking Schumer as well for bringing the border bill again for a vote, saying that the demon Democrats are trying to obtain political coverage over the current development at the southern border, and that the Senate Majority Leader, creepy ass motherfucking nutcase, is disingenuous regarding his negotiations on the issue. Of course, because he wants to stalemate it and keep it open and have them people run up in every demon Democratic city so they can vote for them. We just had a witness another charade, you know what I'm saying, political ploy on the parts of Chuck the Dog Marquez and Schumer as they trying to obtain political coverage over their open border policy. Open border policy. Yes, that is a catastrophe and a clear and present danger while they're doing something under the table that we don't know about because they love to do these type of things. And a catastrophe and a danger to Americans. Johnson said in an interview with radio talk show host, you know what I'm saying, John, looked like Steve, whatever his name is, on NABC 770 AM. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. But we see that, so he brought back up the bill that fell. You know what I'm saying? In February, Johnson continued just to prove how disingenuous he is after the bill fell. The last time Chuck the Dog Schumer said we are playing chess. Of course you are. We know that. Why you fuck over the American public. He's an idiot and you should have not voted Chuck the Dog Schumer back in. You know what I'm saying? We learn nothing yet, have we? You know what I'm saying? We see a physically healthy woman, 28 years old, died. You know what I'm saying? You know what? It's a very sad thing when we don't pay attention. We see, that's the one with the tennis star. We see another woman. Okay, so that's it. In more ways than one, we see a lot of nonsense that's taking place in our country that should not be taking place in no shape or form. You know what I'm saying? Many people are talking about, the protesters and this and that, but at least they're protesting to save a life. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, it also is. This is part of their corrupted behavior in the chaos that they love to cause. You know what I'm saying? We see Washington Post, Justice Samuel Alito, wife said, you know what I'm saying, upside down. You know, so who cares? You know what I mean? We see deriding New York, North Africans, Middle Eastern, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on here on that matter. On the Easterner would lose white statues under state bill. This is coming in by Rich Calder, you know what I'm saying, 2 days ago, coming out of the New York Post. But we see the controversial bill, being pushed by lefties legislature in Albany is trying to make the Empire State less white. You know what I'm saying? Less white, critics say. That was the whole point. It's a demon democratical city, so you should be understanding their intricate game. They're trying to bring in the other people to replace you. You know what I'm saying? But the legislature, because you are not, they knew that when they fucked you over, you know what I'm saying, and do what they did to you and all the bullshit that they do, and they know that they're going to become unpopular. So they're trying to use those people to repopulate and depopulate your ass so they can vote for them in the long run. And this is why we probably still have some form of margin between the two. The legislature response by the Assemblywoman Jessica, you know what I'm saying, Gonzalez, or whatever, Gonzalez, Rosa, or whatever, even Democrat from Queens, and Senate Michael, look like Guinness, or whatever, even Democrat from Queens, who gives a flying fuck, would mandate state agencies and other entities using separate categories for Middle Eastern and North Africans. You know what I'm saying? The MENA, New York, when collecting demographic data, rather than relying on the U.S. Census, which classifies them under one white umbrella. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop using a census to determine who we really are. And there should be no Gonzalez or anything, a dumbass woman that come in this country and rallying in our government. How the fuck did all these Spanish people get up in our government? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to understand that we don't need no census to tell us who we are as the United States and as citizens of the United States. There should not be no class at all. You know what I'm saying? Either you got the money or you don't. You know what I'm saying? The state Senate on Thursday voted unanimously to pass it, but Gonzalez Rojas' version of the bill is still facing pushback in the Assembly, of course. Both polls argue that the MEN, the MENA or whatever individuals don't benefit from the so-called white privilege, you know what I'm saying, and instead facing discrimination daily by falsely being associated with the 9/11 terrorist attack, you know what I'm saying? They and other supporters also insist the current system shuts the MENA individual out of qualifying for majority-owned businesses, grants, and so forth on, language programs and other critical government and aid and services by labeling them white. You know what I'm saying? Well, on it, I don't see that because on the bill she has two different types. You know what I'm saying? And it should have every culture and every race involved. You see, this is the racist shit that we be talking about that still seems to be going on, and you still haven't learned much of anything. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't learned much of anything, but we see here, in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? More ways than one. You know what I mean? You know, we see neither white nor other Middle Eastern, North Africans, New Yorkers won. You know what I'm saying? We see, are we really doing this? Documents recently sealed by Mar-a-Lago judge reveal tense grand jury exchange between prosecutor and Trump's lawyers over attorney-client privilege. You know what I'm saying? But we see here with Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? And the U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon, U.S. Senate, writes Senate Counsel Jack Smith, not Keith Jackass, you know what I'm saying? A long couch of documents recently unsealed in Donald Trump Mar-a-Lago document case offers key insight into the pre-indictment through process of both the government and the defendant. The documents were recently unsealed by the U.S. District Court Eileen Cannon, but have long been attached to a late March Trump motion previously filed under seal in the support of the motion to dismiss the case. The motion to dismiss the alleged prosecutorial misconduct, you know what I'm saying, and due process violation, spanning 15 different exhibits over 160 pages. The defense attached numerous emails, grand jury material, and court rulings from outside the Southern District of Florida when prosecutors were considering filing a case in Washington, D.C. relating coverage. You know what I'm saying? Each edition of the public records would at least in theory be in service of defense argument in the motion itself. You know what I'm saying? But one particular exhibit, a December 2022 grand jury interview between federal investigation and then Trump's attorney, Timothy Paladors or whatever, Palador or whatever, is not cited in the correspondent support motion, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We really don't care about any emotions when you're talking about Trump's so-called document case. You know what I'm saying? Because in the document case itself, we still see some form of corruption based on discrediting this man on some documents that you retrieved. If you retrieve the documents and the documents were put in his house and the documents were not vulnerable to whoever you saying it was vulnerable to, you know what I'm saying, or whoever was able to see those documents, we could say the same thing for Joe Biden and him and all the documents. He didn't even got to do nothing with his classified documents that were found in the Mustang or wherever he had in his Corvette in the garage. He's been giving our information away to foreigners and letting them do all this. And a clear indication of that is you look at even the economy and how all these factories and these different corporations was allowed to leave America and go to other places under their own private business or corporation or whatever, and made a lot of people lose jobs, you know what I'm saying? And many of the industry, and now every time you turn around, everything you have is made where? In China. You know what I'm saying? So we know for well they had been sold us out years ago. The Polish officials claim the U.S. told Russia it would strike Russia's targets. You know what I'm saying? And more reason one. But strike Russian targets in Ukraine if Putin used nuclear weapons. But let me tell you something. Polish officials claim, this is coming in by I think Cameron Manley 17 hours ago Eastern Standard Time, coming off the Business Insider. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where the Polish officials said that the U.S. told Russia it would strike Russia targets in Ukraine if Putin use a nuke. You know what I'm saying? So why does NATO have 34 nations piled up together against one nation? I'm talking about nuke. So what else? What would be? Let's logically look at this. What would be if say for instance it's you and you're the country of Russia, which is Ukraine as well, and all the other countries, Kiev, all that's Russia. That's the backyard of Russia, and it's the old Soviet Union, so it's still Russia. But let's say they were piled up against, even using the people within your own districtal area, you know what I'm saying, demographic area, to be going up against even you, plus 34 other nations coming down on you, claiming to all be the same thing, and pulling all the people of those countries into these nuclear warfare games that they play. But if you was Putin and in Russia, why would you have an attitude as to, you know what I'm saying, why would you not have in mind to protect yourself using nuclear weapons? You know what I'm saying? Now, Putin has allies as well, and we're not with the World War III bullshit coming from America in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? So we don't need you to be pushing us to the brink of nothing. You know what I'm saying? What we need you to do is just cause a ceasefire in all ways. But we see the Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev, or whatever his name is, said such U.S. strikes would result in a world war. Putin has recently issued nuclear threats since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Poland foreign minister said that the U.S. had told Russia that it would strike Russia targets in Ukraine if Putin, you know what I'm saying, were to use nuclear weapons.